All right, guys, today we're doing tier list of horror icons. We're gonna go through ranking each icon of horror and see which one is the best, most frightening, the coolest, that left the mark on you, the best mark, the scariest mark, that still gives you nightmares, or maybe you like them so much. Because it's just not scary ones, like people like Ash and Beetlejuice and some other stuff on here. So we're gonna go through this and rank them from S, A, B, or C, or D. So I guess icons would be like that left like a lasting impression on you after watching, maybe when you're a kid or something like that. B or A, Michael Myers is B or A for you, okay. Or where's Michael? Right here. We can say Michael Myers, you know, as a horror icon, I think he's pretty S tier, honestly. I don't think there's any other horror icon that really comes to mind when you think like, you know, scary, Halloween. Oh, Michael Myers. I like Michael Myers. It's always like Michael versus Jason versus Freddy kind of thing. You know what I mean? He is pretty much the one that started the whole slasher franchise. So I'd say Michael's definitely a S tier for me, I think. This is how doable they are. Which one would we have sex with? I think the one you'd want to have sex with would be Freddy Krueger. He could finger you pretty good. Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is cool. He never really made an impression on me. I mean, I like the whole design of him, but he never really scared me. I always found him like pretty cool. As a horror icon, I don't think he's S tier. I'd say he's probably mid. I think he's B tier. B tier? Yeah, I'd say B tier for Pyramid Head. Let's do Ghostface next. There's no question in my mind that he is A or S tier. I'm gonna say S tier for me. I think S tier. You know, it goes along with like the babysitter killers, you know, like Michael Myers. Definitely started like the boot up of 90s slasher with Scream. It's definitely the twist that made him better. He still holds up to this day. We're gonna get this one out of the way. Krampus. We're just gonna say Krampus in general. I'm gonna say C. He's C tier. I would say Krampus was D-list for me until that movie came out a couple years ago, Krampus. And I'd say he's probably C-list now. Hellraiser, I guess. Pinhead. Pinhead scared me. He left an impression on me. I wouldn't say he's S tier. I would say he's better than B tier. I'd say he's A tier because he's creepy. And his homies too are freaking creepy as well. And those movies still give me chills. Pinhead and the chattering teeth, dude. Yeah, Chatterbox. You know what? We're gonna get this out of the way. Ash Williams is a S tier. There's no doubt about it. He is the person you'd want on your team if you're facing any of these. And he's classic. Hail to the King, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, all the classic lines. He's just dope. All right, Ash Williams. Comedic timing of Bruce Campbell makes his character so much better. So S tier for sure. We'll do Negan next. D tier. I don't care for him. We'll do the Nun. I'm gonna say definitely not S tier. Right, the Nun isn't really that iconic. Not A tier, nowhere near where Pinhead would be. The Nun movie was definitely mediocre at best. The character itself is kind of creepy. So I'd probably put her with Pyramid Head. Interesting idea, execution. It could have been better. She could have been creepier. But I'm gonna say B, the Nun. Reminds me of my second grade teacher. Oh God, beat you with a ruler. We'll do Shining. You know, I wouldn't say he's S tier. I'd say he's A tier. Jack Nicholson did an excellent job. A tier for true maniac performance. Yeah, and his performance was crazy. Absolutely, he did it justice, I thought. So A tier for sure. Beetlejuice definitely is totally a horror icon. It's horror comedy. It doesn't have to be scary. Now, where does he rank though? You know, where does he rank? The performance of Michael Keaton, phenomenal. Honestly, I'd say he's definitely better than the Nun and Pyramid Head, in my opinion. I think he's the A-list, honestly, because there's some disturbing imagery in it, and he's just crazy. He's up there, A-list for sure. Not S though, not S. We'll do Dead Space next. Now, Dead Space definitely one of my favorite horror games of all time. It's probably one of the best horror games of all time. Now, when you're ranking iconic horrors from film and gaming, I would say Isaac is a tough one. He's either A or he's S. He's been through so much shit. Insane shit that no man would want to ever go through. And his suits are freaking cool too. You know, I'm gonna go S tier for him actually. I think for gaming in the horror genre, he's iconic. We'll do Jason next. You know, we got Michael Myers S tier. Jason, is he S tier though? I don't know if he's S tier. Okay. How many movies have they done about him? The video game? No, he's S tier. He's very S tier, I think. Let's do Candyman next. I just recently watched Candyman. What an excellent film. It still scares me. You know, it's very impressive that Candyman actually started urban legend. It's kind of like Bloody Mary, but people will still play Candyman to this day. So with that, that's pretty iconic to me. Not S tier, definitely A tier. Like when you watch Candyman, the first one, he's not in it a lot, but he steals every scene he's in. Let's get Wesker, Resident Evil. I'm gonna say he is D. You know, I never cared for him. I love Resident Evil, but him as a villain, it just didn't do it for me. He's bland. He's one-dimensional. I don't like him. Terrible. Let's do the robots from Chopping Mall. I'm gonna say C tier, because they had some personality and they murdered people in a cool way, I thought. So I'm gonna say C. I know, I was kind of disappointed with the lack of chopping in the movie called Chopping Mall. You know what? Jaws, I'd say is B. I'd say B. You know, sharks are scary. That movie made me scared of the water. Should we just do Deep Blue Sea then? Deep Blue Sea, sharks. Cool movie, but they didn't scare me as much as Jaws did. I'll say C. I like Jaws more than Deep Blue Sea. You know what? Deep Blue Sea drops to C because of the terrible CG when they kill off Samuel L. Jackson. Can't remember this dude. Can't remember where he's from. He was okay. I'd say he's D list for me though. Not very iconic. Reanimator, fun movie. He's not C, he's not D. I don't think he's S. He's better than The Nun and Jaws. He'd probably be in the A list. Great performance. I'm gonna go A list with him. Reanimator. Oh my god, what's the game called? Oh my god, it's escaping my mind. It's a game PewDiePie got famous off of. Wow, I just played it too. Amnesia, thank you. I had amnesia because I couldn't fucking think of it. Thank you. How weird is that? Amnesia, definitely not an S, definitely not an A. For me, it's pretty mediocre. I'm gonna say B. I'm just gonna say B. Let's do Xenomorph next. No question in my mind, the Xenomorph is definitely S. There's absolutely no debate. Amazing design, creepy visuals from Aliens and Aliens. It's just so iconic. I don't know what to say. He has a penis head. Penis head alone gets some S tier. The Thing monster. Now, I love The Thing. The Thing is my favorite movie, my favorite horror movie. That's a tough one. It's either A or S. But the practical effects in that movie, let alone, should give it S ranking, honestly. I think so. Some of the best ever effects, but not quite a single monster. Not quite a single monster, no. But practical effects alone, I'm gonna say S. All right. It still gives me nightmares. It still grosses me out. So let that, and it was done in 82. So that alone, I'll give that an S. Nemesis from Resident Evil. The Nemesis was spooky. The Nemesis was iconic. The Nemesis to me was always so much scarier than Mr. X. Nemesis to me would definitely be an B. I think he's B. He's pretty scary, mediocre. Oh, but yeah, we'll do that. And then Mr. X for me though, he's like I don't know. He's C. He's C. Nemesis is just scarier in my opinion. When you hear that stars, you know you're fucked, bro. You know you better run. I don't know this one. I'm just gonna say D. Basket case. Hilarious, kind of creepy. I'm gonna say up there with I'll say C. I'm gonna say C. Yeah, he's mid tier. He's mid tier. He's creepy. He's grotesque. It's practical. I love it. Babadook. I'm gonna say A list because the Babadook, that movie really messed with me. The kid was creepy. I thought the mom did a great job, and I liked that it revolved around mental health. In order to pull that off in a horror movie, I think it's pretty tough to do. So I'm gonna say A list, and just the imagery in that movie is still haunting. It's still haunting. So I'm gonna say A. A stands for amazing. S stands for super amazing. Oh, Cthulhu. I don't really think of him as an iconic horror character. Was definitely not D, he's not C. I don't think he's S. He's either B or A. But he's better than the Nun. He's better than Pyramid Head. Let's do A. I'll say he's A. Human Centipede is definitely B for butt. B for butt. I agree with that. B for butt. Nosferatu, I'm gonna say A. Still f***ing creepy to this day. He's just an iconic monster. That's what I think. Human Centipede introduced me to oral sex. Good for you. So you eat ass now. That's amazing. Let's do Norman Bates. He has mother issues. I'm gonna put him for A right now. We'll come back to him. We'll come back to Norman. Bloody Valentine. Bloody Valentine didn't do anything for me. I'm saying he's a C. The Exorcist. When this movie came out, it made people throw up in the audience. This is the kind of girl, little kid that you see and you drop kick and run. So just do this S tier level right there. Okay. I still can't eat green suckers. because of that movie. So, Sam from Trick or Treat.
Boo.
I did get scared. You did scare me bad. I love Sam. I do. He's a good Halloween lad. I love Halloween. We'll rearrange this. He's A tier for sure. He's A tier. He's either A or S. I'll think about it. Just the costume alone, the creepy pumpkin kid, how he's like the spirit of Halloween. It's just great. You know, the comics are awesome too. The clown. He's C. He's C. He's C. He's C. He didn't do anything for me. He's not as scary as Pennywise.
My nipples look like milk duds.
You know, he scared me as a kid. Even with the recently new one, I'm saying he's S tier. I thought Skarsgård did a better job, but he did a more sinister and creepy job. Definitely S tier. Very iconic, I think. Pumpkinhead. Oh Lord. Pumpkinhead. I'm gonna say B, but iconically he's in the B, man. We're gonna do the Outlast dude. D. One-dimensional. I mean, he's kind of scary when you first play, but he's just annoying. He's just a fat dude. That's all I gotta say. Annabelle. Annabelle didn't do much for me as a horror icon, just more of a doll, right? You'd have to say she's as scary as the Nun. I feel like the Conjuring universe itself is very B. It's very mediocre. So I'm gonna say Annabelle's very B. Now, speaking of dolls, Billy, Saw doll, creepy, not S tier, but he's definitely A tier. So it has to be up there. Yeah, definitely A. I think for an icon of horror, if you show that to anybody, you'd be like, oh my, yeah, that's the Saw doll. Chucky. Since we're on the dolls, and he did make me scared of dolls. Chucky is up there with S tier. The Ring Girl, not S, not A. She's just a fucking girl who fell in a well and crawls out of your TV. Just girls with like long hair in their face does not terrify me. I'm gonna do a B. This is your B, all right? Carrie, I wouldn't say Carrie's S, but she's definitely A. For that ass lady. Yeah, Carrie's up there with A. I was okay with Carrie killing everyone. It's like, these people deserve it. You dumped pig's blood on her and you tormented her through high school. What do you think was gonna happen? The nurses from Silent Hill. B. They're kind of mediocre. They're sexy and scary. B for boobs. They're B. B for boobs. Christine. Killer car. Very iconic. You know, we got the Archie episode with his killer car. Yeah. We got Futurama, the killer car. But it's gonna be A for automobile. Speaking of Stephen King, Cujo. This movie made me afraid of dogs. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault he got bit by a bat and started murdering everybody. D for dog. No, Cujo's way more up there than D or C, I feel like. I'm gonna say B. That's all I gotta say, really. He's in the middle. There's so many others. I think he's in the middle. Eye Hands from Pan's Labyrinth. I'm gonna say A. Just the way he looks, the visuals, the fucking creepiness. Just a really unique character, honestly. I really liked it. He's creepy. So I don't think there's much more to say about that. Pan's Labyrinth itself is a really good movie. Hannibal Lecter. He's a cannibal. His name's Hannibal. A? You feel A?
A for daddy.
He did cook somebody's brain while they were still alive and fed it to him. Yeah, S tier. Leatherface. Iconic? Iconic. The original was really good and creepy. The sequels weren't bad. The reboot in the 2000s was actually really good and unsettling. I actually really liked the reboot. And plus, Jessica Biel's boobs. His scream is very iconic. You know, well, I'm just gonna drag him to A tier for now, right? It's not set. Remember that. Leatherface wasn't afraid to wear a dress with the chainsawing people. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Jeepers Creepers. Let's do Jeepers Creepers. I feel like Jeepers Creepers, we're not talking about number 3. Jeepers Creepers scared the fuck out of me. All right. I liked number 1. You didn't really see him much. You didn't know what he was. Really good concept. Really good stalking horror movie. I don't think there's been a scarier, iconic monster since the Jeepers Creepers came out. You know what I mean? That kind of like terrified me. I'm gonna say Jeepers Creepers with his like hat and his long coat and the fucking truck, his goddamn truck, dude. I'm gonna say, you know what? He's, in my books, he's S tier, honestly. I think he's becoming more iconic. Let's do Leprechaun next. Leprechaun is very iconic, very classic, kind of campy. I'm gonna say A-list. I really like Leprechaun, honestly. I really like Leprechaun. Freddy Krueger. This is a tough one because he's either S or he's S. So we're F tier. That's the sell. I think a lot of people forget that Freddy Krueger is a pedophile. You know what I mean? The movie itself is S. The monster, though, I say he's more A. It's because he transforms so much. You know, there's so many different types of the Thing in that movie. Hannibal, I feel like he's not S material. He's just kind of a guy without the mask. Yeah. Leatherface. Yeah, he's pretty iconic. Let's go S. He's up there. Sam. You know, fuck it. No, Sam is S tier. He's S tier. For me anyways. Okay. In my personal opinion, when I think of Halloween, my mind always comes to Sam. Let's see here. We got Cthulhu. You don't hear much about him anyways. Yeah, there's urban legends and all that. More concept than character. Let's go B. He's going to B. Bates. Norman Bates. Gets, you know what? Jason has mother issues. You're going S. All right. Psycho is just such a classic. Okay. It's just such a classic. You know, I watched The Nun recently and it was all right. You know what? I'm going to move The Nun down to C, actually. I'm going to say C. The Nun C. You know, for crucifixion. I'm sorry. Amnesia character, he's mediocre. You know what? No, he really didn't do anything for me. He's C. I'm moving him up to A. Nemesis is A. She's just a vessel. She's not really a character. You know, it's more of like spirits possessing it. Yeah, we're going C with you. We're going down to C. All right. And you know what, Ring? You're B. You're mediocre. Yeah, you're mediocre. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Comment down below. Let me know. Do you agree with the list? Do you not agree with the list? Because if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. And be sure to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. YouTube is fun.